Hi, I'm Morgan and welcome back to my channel, or like my channel is, Mo Adventures. Today we're going to talk about flying and when you should check your bag and when you should just have a carry-on and what should you put in your carry-on. This is all my opinion, so if you want to do something different, totally do that. I am only here to offer my advice and do with it what you will. I have flown so many times in my life, from when I was a kid to now. And there are times where I've just done a carry-on and there are times when I've checked a bag as well. So when should you check a bag? It's pretty simple. It depends on how long your trip is. If it's a longer trip, I would check a bag. If you're kind of staying in one place, it's easier to have a checked bag. Rather than if you're backpacking, that's a pretty obvious one. You're just gonna have your backpack as a carry-on. Also, I would always start with a carry-on. So if I think I'm only gonna go for a 2-week trip, am I able to fit everything in my carry-on? Kind of start there. Think about, what is my trip? What am I doing? Where am I going? If I'm going to Alaska and it's freezing cold, bring a checked bag because you're gonna have really big gear. If I'm going out west and I'm hiking or I'm skiing, I'm gonna have bigger gear, so I'm not gonna be able to put all of that in my carry-on. I'm gonna have to check a bag, and that's okay. Some flights come with one free checked bag. Sometimes you have to pay for that. And you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons. Are you going to have to buy more things when you get there because you didn't check a bag? Or are you able to just check a bag and bring your own things? If you're going for like a 2-week trip and you're able to put everything in your carry-on, do it. It does make things easier to have kind of a little rolly carry-on. You don't have to worry about picking out your luggage or potentially getting lost when you get to your location. Another thing to think about is when you are packing a carry-on, and if you're going for a longer than a week and you need a little more space, you can kind of get those vacuum sealed bags that you can pack things in, kind of compress it. Yes, your carry-on might be heavier, but you might be able to fit more things into it. Being strategic about how you pack is a whole different thing of being able to get your trip in a carry-on. I a lot of times travel for longer trips, so I do check a bag. I also have traveled where I just have my carry-on, and it is a little more strategic on doing that, but it's totally possible. If you're going for a short business trip, that's super easy to do that. And you can always have like a backpack in your rolly bag. Now, things that go in your checked bag are definitely like your bigger bottles of toiletries, your hairsprays, your shoes. If things are really heavy, I always put like my heaviest pair of shoes in my carry-on so I don't have to worry about the weight in my big checked suitcase. So kind of weighing pros and cons like that. In my carry-on, I will always have my medications that I need, a spare pair of clothes. Whether that's something that is truly just a spare pair of clothes in case you lose your luggage, so underwear, clothes, all of that. And don't forget your socks in that situation. Or is it something that I just was on a 12-hour flight and I want to change, but it is also used as a spare pair of clothes? So I've done both of that. I will also always have like my contacts, my glasses in my carry-on, and a little bit of toiletries in my carry-on. Now I do the travel size. If I am going for a month, 2 months, sometimes I will not even pack a bigger version in my checked bag. I will just buy it when I get there. And sometimes I do pack the bigger version in my checked bag. My carry-on, I will always have my personal items that I really need to have with me. So my technology, all of my cables, my cords, my valuables. If I have something that I'm traveling with valuables, I will always put like my jewelry in my carry-on. Things that I know that I want to keep safe and I'm a little more worried about, I won't check in my bag. Yes, I will put a lock on my checked bag, but this is something that I will just definitely put into my carry-on. Also, check out my other videos on must-haves while traveling, as well as my must-haves when flying, that I kind of go into more details about what I carry while I'm on my flight. Another thing to think about if you're flying with a family, you're gonna most likely have a checked bag. So try to kind of have one suitcase with everything and then go from there. But with your kids, make sure you have your extra pair of clothing. Your kids can have cute little kids backpacks where they can have your extra clothing or their activities as well. Also, in my carry-on or on my person, I will always have my important documents. So itineraries for my trip, my documents that I need to check in, my car keys. If you're driving to the airport yourself, put your car keys in your carry-on. Do not check your car keys in your suitcase, because you could lose your suitcase and then not have your car keys and you're kind of just stranded waiting for someone who has duplicates or AAA to come and pick you up from the airport. And that's the last thing you want to do when you land from a long trip. You just want to get in your car and get going. So important things like that you need to carry in your carry-on. If you're going somewhere and you're flying somewhere for an important event and you have a specific outfit for that event, carry that in your carry-on. Again, lost luggage is a possibility. You don't have to put everything in your carry-on, but have that outfit in your carry-on. For example, my husband and I eloped in Bermuda, and his suit, my dress, my shoes, all of the things that we needed for our wedding that specific day, we put in our carry-ons. We did check a bag as well, but we made sure all of the things that we needed for that day to get married was in our carry-on, because the last thing I wanted to do was get a I Love Bermuda t-shirt and have to get married in that. Thankfully, we didn't lose our luggage at all, but these are things to think about if you're going on a business trip and you have specific outfit that you need to wear. If you're a dancer and you're going for an audition, carry that in your carry-on. The dance studio I grew up in, we performed down in Disney, so we would fly down to Disney, so we would always have all of our costumes, all of our shoes in our carry-on. So that kind of makes sense. Again, this is all my opinion. Take with this what you will, but I hope this helps you kind of determine what to put in your carry-on versus your checked bag, and when to check a bag and when not to check a bag. I hope you have a great day. Check out my other videos for must-haves while flying, best bags, all of that. I can link that down in the descriptions. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and safe travels. Bye!